that it's getting really cold outside, I need to do something with this hair that does not involve freezing the tips of my fingers while detangling for an hour and then styling for the same amount of time. At first, I thought maybe I'll just be a straight natural for the winter. It's gonna take only about one Pilates session before I sweat out them roots. So maybe mini twist? And then I stopped being delusional because I finally come to terms with the fact that your boneless curls will barely hold 3 strands of hair for 72 hours, let alone 30 to 45 business days. It looks really cute on other people, but that's not your ministry. So braids it is. This blow dry even deceived me for a minute. Like, it looks like I have a lot of hair. The density changes all throughout my scalp. I am not joking. And the very back of my head is so fine that not even the density will make up for it. Like, I had a hair analysis done at one point where they put the little microscope on your scalp, and I had 2, sometimes 3 strands of hair growing out of the same follicle. So that's why the parts in the back of my head right now are so chunky, in order for me to create continuity when I get to the braids on the top of my head, because that's where the majority of my hair is just in the crown. I wonder if that's what my hair oil has been doing all these years, like stimulating growth but not thickness. Call me greedy, but I've actually been thinking about getting the Sacred Drops. But besides the fact that it's always out of stock, the reason I haven't is because when it launched, I ordered about 3 or 4 products and could not use any of them because the fragrance is too much for me. It's just too perfumey. I can't. I'm really sensitive. Sometimes it's gotta be fragrance free. Otherwise, my headache will be so intense that I can't see out of my left ear. But like I was saying, remember, in addition to the different curl patterns throughout your head, you can have varying thickness of those individual hair strands. Similar to the hair on your body, for example, it can either be coarse and thick in appearance or thin and fragile like vellus hair, or what we also call peach fuzz. So those are things to consider when you're choosing hair products, including porosity. Like with Pattern Beauty, for example, they have 4 formulas of their conditioners, but the heavy and the intensive are the most effective on my wavy hair, even though they're marketed for tighter textures and coils. Again, since it's so cold, the transdermal water loss that I'm experiencing is 11 out of 10 right now. So I clearly need a comprehensive moisture treatment, which we will do later. But as far as the polish, I mean, I think it kind of camouflages the fact that they're this grown out. I feel like it held up pretty good. Not considering my cuticles, of course, and the hunchback of calluses living on my toe. And the only reason that the polish is chipped actually around the cuticle is because I peeled it off myself. Yeah, don't do that. See how the skin falls off the bone just from rubbing it with my hand? This is a sign that you're either not exfoliating enough, or that you're not using a washcloth that is textured enough, or that you're not using a washcloth at all, which is a problem because if you can use a sponge or a cloth to wash your dishes, you can also use one for your body. I've been using a washcloth that is too soft. Me personally, I love a waffle washcloth because they are pretty rough. But first and foremost, remember too that my body overproduces keratin, so it struggles to keep up because it's not balanced in the first place. So technically, yes, I waited too long to exfoliate because I need to exfoliate more often than probably someone else would. And then number two, socks. Cotton absorbs all of the moisture from your skin, which is how you got the first clip of me scratching my skin and immediately being ashy. To further that exfoliation even more, I'm going to apply this AHA serum. But who was going to tell me that this company, let alone this product, no longer exists? Like, ain't nobody tell me nothing. It's my fault. I should have restocked this product before I got to the bottom of the tube, but golly, I'm so upset right now because y'all know me and this serum go together real bad. So the search has now begun for a substitute. I do still have a little bit of the glycolic cream left, yes, but I would specifically like having a serum to add more hydration, almost like using an essence in your skincare routine on your face. For the winter, I'm thinking about getting the one from STALK. If you do have any recommendations, please put them in the comments. I always take a break in between doing my nail care and doing my nail art. So I'll do my cuticle work one day and then polish them the next. However, every week when I realize that I need a manicure, I get to this and then never actually get to the gel manicure part. At this point, I need you to hold me accountable. If you see my hands and my nails ain't done, say something. Because if somebody don't check me, I fear this may continue. I'm working on it though. Finally refill my sugar supply. I couldn't wait to try this pot that I thrifted recently, specifically for this purpose. If you love watching baking shows, you may have noticed that chefs usually cook sugar in copper because not only does it conduct heat very well, they respond to adjustments in temperature pretty quickly. And if you've ever made this before, you know why that's important. You know how temperamental it is. Candy making isn't super easy, but it's worth it. And if you're struggling to know when your sugar is actually ready, remember, testing it is the foolproof way of knowing when it's done. The color doesn't have to change, but the consistency does. If when you run it between your fingers, it's still really syrupy like this, you're not there yet. But you are getting close because it is starting to form a paste consistency, which is what we're going for. We just need a thicker paste than this. There is still too much water that hasn't evaporated or boiled off. So if you were to apply this and use a wax strip to try to remove it, the moisture is bleeding through the cloth. But if you're wondering when you should actually start taking samples to test the consistency, I would advise you to do it when you start to smell hot lemonade. Or if you are one of the people who sees a color change in your sugar, when the bubbles go from white to a golden yellow color, until it can be rolled into a ball that's firm enough to hold its shape, but soft enough to be manipulated or pressed into a pancake. Because that's the same consistency that you'll need to spread it onto your skin and flick it off with your hands without the use of wax strips. But since sugaring is so versatile, you can still use it either way. I'm gonna microwave my sugar for about 10 seconds just to bring it up to body temperature. But before I sugar my legs, I just wanted to give you a quick update. As far as the microneedling, it feels flatter than it was before. It feels more flush with the surrounding skin, which is an improvement. So I'm gonna stop there because it is a keloid. So I really don't want to potentially cause any more abnormal collagen formation. But for any hyperpigmentation, I'm gonna proceed with retinol. And for the rest of my knee, for the scrapes that have finally healed, I'm gonna do microdermabrasion.